Welcome back everybody. Thanks for all your support and comments from the last video. In today's episode we'll be updating you on the progress with these main gate posts. You can probably see that the posts themselves have got the caps on and the lights now, and if you look closely some of the paving along the edge has been done. You may also notice that along the straight edge here I've put in some small lights and also the beginnings of a French drain. I wanted the lights to be quite low level rather than very bright. These are supposed to represent candlelight and are quite orange. To the edge of the paving here you can see the grey gravel, that's part of the French drain. More on that later. One of the first things I needed to do was to get power from this left-hand post over to this right-hand post. To do that it was necessary to start taking up the blocks running between the two posts. Here comes Dash to check out what's going on. So as you can imagine, these blocks have been down for probably about nearly 30 years I guess, so they're pretty well packed in, apart from along the edges of course, so it takes quite a bit of work to actually loosen them up because they lock in together. So actually getting started is probably the most difficult part. I think you've watched me deal with enough paving, so I'm just going to speed this part up. It gets pretty boring just lifting blocks all the time. Once I'd removed the blocks to put the conduit with the power line, it was time to actually connect up the supply for the first post. Here you can see the white wire that's running across, so that will eventually go into a conduit, but it needed to be the right height to make sure that everything connected up properly. Then it was just a case of running the power cable through the conduit. I'm actually just doing a dry fit here because obviously this conduit is not deep enough. It needs to go down into the ground quite a bit more, especially with cars etc. travelling over the top of it. Later on I didn't do this on camera, so before you start commenting that's not deep enough, yeah, don't worry. It soon got dark, and unfortunately I actually need to continue and finish this, otherwise I can't get my car out in the morning. Off camera, I managed to dig the trough for the conduit down quite a fair way, probably about 6 inches, about 15 centimeters. And of course here you can see me starting to replace the blocks that I took out in the middle of the afternoon, and then we're just brushing in some polymeric sand, which later I will use the compactor on. The following morning, it was then just time to do the final joints on the plastic conduit, make sure that everything's sealed up correctly. Now that's all connected up, it's just time to fill this area back in, starting with some hardcore, quite a lot of broken tile pieces and pieces of concrete for first base layer. Once that was done, it was time to add a layer of crushed stone and of course compact that entire area. Switching over now to the other side, it's time to run the power connection up to the light at the top. So again, the cable's got to go in this waterproof and impact resistant conduit. Make sure it's nice and safe and protected. Switching around to the back of the post now, it was at this time that some of the local farmers came by. They come by periodically to this lane and actually kind of help keep the bamboo under control, and they tour around the area with their machines kind of cutting everything back. Really nice guys.
見つかってよかったね、犬。
関西に住んで
関西、
関西
浦安、関西、
関西
京葉線だ。
私は
あ、
昔
that the power's all connected, it's time to see how I managed to get these post caps up on the top here. They're far too big for me to lift on my own and far too heavy, so I had to come up with a way of getting them high enough in a safe manner. So what I basically decided to do was to use this scaffolding. I had some pieces lying around. I just needed to buy a few more bits and some connectors, of course. And so I'm going to build a frame structure over the top of the post. While you're watching me just put together some stuff, if you're interested in subscribing or clicking the like bell, it really helps out. Thanks a lot. So I started off by building an end structure. These are pretty simple to put together. It's just a case really of making sure that they're straight and level. So I measured the placement of the connectors before putting it together. Once the first end structure was complete, it was then just a case of building an exact copy for the other end. Once the two end pieces were built, I was able to prop that inside the garage, and then moving outside, connect some horizontal pieces to them, and then take the second upright structure and connect that at the base to hold it in place. In case you're wondering, no, I'm not going to be climbing on this at all, so I'm not kind of scaffolding certified. I know you're supposed to be certified to actually build scaffolding that you can climb on. So to do the actual heavy lifting, I considered a block and tackle kind of idea with like cable or rope going over that top pole you see on the scaffolding structure, and then decided that it would probably be best if I went with an electric winch. This way I could connect it to a spare car battery that I have, and also be able to use it at a later date, lifting materials onto the roof of the garage. So the winch itself is rated at £3,000, and it comes with like a backing plate. My thinking was that it was originally intended to be used on the front of a kind of 4x4 to allow you to pull yourself out of ditches, etc. A quick shot of the winch itself, with the big black part in the middle being the kind of mounting plate, which I was able to use with some U-shaped bolts to actually hold it to the scaffolding poles. And time to give it a go. Just needed to get some tension on the cable. And then I was distracted by some movement in the trees above the post where I was working a few minutes before. And yes, that is a snake moving from one tree to another. I'm not sure what kind of snake it is. I got a bit of a closer look a little bit later. If anybody knows what kind of snake this is, please let me know. I don't think it's a marmushi, which is basically a pit viper. Extremely aggressive snake. It didn't look the right colour or shape, to be honest. And we've started to lift the post cap. It's working out quite well. I'm doing it little by little until it gets to the top. I put a piece of wood just to protect the edge there, and took a break and actually loaded up some mortar on the top, ready to actually tip this over onto the top of the post cap. Little by little, dropping it down and checking the position. Once it's all the way down, I can then take off the straps and start to remove the scaffolding. And finally, after a lot of work, I was able to get the post cap in place and in the right position. I just had to make sure that the power cable, which is running up the outside, actually joined in the correct place to the conduit that's running through the cap. And here you can see the cap in place. I'm quite happy with it. It's in the right place and it's looking good. After completing the first post, it was time to do the same with the second one. Of course, I had to take all of the scaffolding apart to actually move the scaffolding as it was around the first post. And then here you just see me kind of working on the electrics to make sure that it's all connected up properly before I lower it fully down. I should have done this with the first one, really. It was a lot easier to do it beforehand than trying to deal with it afterwards. And switching over to something different, just wanted to focus a little on the edging here, the paving, and what's called the French drain, the grey gravel you see on the right side here, which I put in to improve drainage. If you look closely, you'll notice the concrete holding these edge blocks in place to prevent the paving moving around. So here you see a close-up of the pipe that's placed in the French drain. You can see it's perforated on the sides, and I also bought these drain sleeves that cover the pipe, and it stops it getting clogged up over time with leaf matter and soil, etc. There's a water pipe that runs under this area here, so it was time to connect the French drain to that. So first of all, I needed to make sure that the joint was fairly strong and wouldn't allow leaves, etc. to go down, so I used some foam. Next up, it was time to fill in this area with some mostly terracotta tile fragments. It provides a good base and also absorbs quite a lot of water. Apart from the edge of the paving, this brown area, which I'm marking out with chalk, has actually sunk over many years due to cars and base support not being very good. So this is another entire area that I needed to actually correct. I think you've all seen enough of paving work, so just to jump forward, this is now being concreted in. The French drain is completed. All of the lamps are put on top of the posts, and in the next video I'll be working on this gate design to go for the small gate. I've already started kind of with the material. This is a composite material and is going to go into this space, and I've attached the beam to hold the gate in place. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.